Man, Bears fans, I don't know if you're feeling the same thing I am right now, but it feels like we're sitting here every single day waiting for that one move that could completely change the outlook of this defense. And today, we've actually got two huge stories to talk about. One of them involves a name that Bears fans have been dreaming about for months. A player that could instantly change the identity of this defense and take this pass rush to another level. But some new comments just came out, and they might completely change how realistic that dream actually is. And then there's a second situation that's becoming impossible to ignore. Because while Chicago keeps looking for answers on the edge, there are now multiple paths the front office could take, and one of them could end up being one of the biggest defensive moves of the offseason. The crazy part is that both stories are connected by the same question every Bears fan keeps asking right now. What exactly is this team planning to do about the pass rush? Because make no mistake, if the Bears are serious about competing at a high level this season, they can't afford to get this decision wrong. We'll break down both developments, what they could mean for the future of this defense, and why Bears fans are reacting so strongly to everything that's happening right now. But before we get into it, if you're a real Bears fan, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And if you're new here, my name is Andrew, and this is Bears News Daily. The channel is still brand new, and we're pushing toward our first 100 subscribers. So if you truly believe in the future of this franchise and want to be part of this community from the very beginning, make sure you subscribe and join us. Now let's talk about what's really going on in Chicago. Alright, Bears fans, let's start with the first story because this is one that a lot of people in Chicago have been talking about for a long time. And honestly, I get it. If you're looking around the league and trying to figure out what one player could completely transform this pass rush alongside Montez Sweat, one of the first names that comes to mind is Max Crosby. The Las Vegas Raiders star has built a reputation as one of the most relentless pass rushers in football. Every single year he's creating pressure, making life miserable for quarterbacks, setting the tone with his energy, and playing with the kind of intensity every fan loves. That's why so many Bears fans have spent months wondering if there was any possible way Chicago could eventually bring him here. The reality is simple. The Bears still need help on the edge. Even after several off-season moves, this remains one of the biggest questions on the roster. And when you're trying to compete for championships, elite pass rushers matter a lot. That's why recent comments from Max Crosby got so much attention. Because if there was ever going to be a chance for Chicago to acquire him, it would probably require some level of frustration from Crosby toward the Raiders organization. But that's not what happened at all. In fact, Crosby sounded completely committed to Las Vegas. Talking about previous issues and adversity he experienced, Crosby said, "It's water under the bridge. It's a long time ago. A lot of things I learned about what's going on and what this league can bring. A lot of adversity, a lot of different things you can't really anticipate. But I've been through a lot in my life. It's nothing to me. I'm here and I want to be here and I'm excited to be here. I've got a lot of work to do." And Bears fans, that's pretty much the exact opposite of what Chicago wanted to hear. Because when a star player publicly says he wants to stay, wants to be there, and is excited about the future, that makes a trade dramatically less likely. Could anything happen in the NFL? Of course. We've all seen crazy trades before. But if we're being realistic, those comments make it very difficult to imagine the Raiders actively shopping Max Crosby anytime soon, and that's disappointing. Not because the Bears can't improve without him. They absolutely can. But because Crosby is one of those rare players who immediately changes the ceiling of a defense. You pair Max Crosby with Montez Sweat and suddenly offensive coordinators are having nightmares every week. The Bears know that. Fans know that. The entire league knows that. Unfortunately, based on what Crosby is saying right now, it feels like that door is pretty much closed, at least for the foreseeable future, which brings us directly to the second story. Because if Max Crosby isn't available, Ryan Poles and the Bears front office still need to find answers somewhere. And now another interesting path is starting to emerge. For months, Bears fans have wondered whether Chicago could make a move for Joey Bosa. Even after leaving the Buffalo Bills, Bosa remains one of the biggest names available on the market. The problem, the Bears haven't shown much urgency to sign him. And when you start looking deeper, you can understand why. Joey Bosa is now 31 years old. Injuries have become a major concern throughout recent years. And according to projections, his market value could reach approximately $27.4 million over 2 years. That's a significant investment, especially for a player who recorded 5 sacks last season. Now don't get me wrong, a healthy Joey Bosa can still be a dangerous player. Nobody questions his talent, but if you're Chicago, you have to ask yourself whether that's the best use of your resources. And based on current reports, it appears the Bears may be looking elsewhere. That's where Alex Highsmith enters the conversation. And honestly, Bears fans should pay attention to this one. Highsmith isn't getting the same headlines as Crosby or Bosa, but he might actually be one of the most realistic options available. The Pittsburgh Steelers currently have an interesting situation on their defensive front. They already have TJ Watt, they have Nick Herbig, they recently added Jack Sawyer. And because of that depth, there is growing speculation that Alex Highsmith could become available under the right circumstances. When you look at the production, it's easy to understand why Chicago would be interested. In 6 NFL seasons, Highsmith has accumulated 337 total tackles, 64 tackles for loss, 91 quarterback hits, 10 forced fumbles, and 45 sacks. Those are serious numbers, even more impressive. Despite missing 4 games during the 2025 season, Highsmith still produced 9.5 sacks. That kind of consistency matters, especially for a Bears defense that desperately needs more pressure opposite Montez Sweat. Let's not forget what happened last season. Chicago finished near the bottom of the league in sacks. The Bears recorded only 35 sacks and were tied for 28th in the NFL. That's simply not good enough if this team wants to compete deep into January. And that's why this situation feels so important. Because right now the Bears seem to be balancing 3 different approaches. One option is signing a veteran free agent like Joey Bosa. Another option is trading for someone like Alex Highsmith. And the third option is trusting the young players already on the roster. That includes Austin Booker, who flashed potential late in the season. It includes Dayo Odeyingbo. It includes Shemar Turner. But both Odeyingbo and Turner are returning from significant injuries, creating legitimate questions about how much impact they can make immediately. Head coach Ben Johnson has publicly expressed confidence in the group. And that's understandable. Coaches are supposed to believe in their players. But as fans, we also have to be honest. Hope alone doesn't generate sacks. Production generates sacks. The front office appears to understand that reality. Reports indicate the Bears recently worked out A.J. Epenesa as they continue exploring possible additions. That tells me Ryan Poles isn't sitting back and assuming everything is fine. He's still looking. He's still evaluating. He's still trying to find value, and honestly, I think that's exactly what he should be doing. Because when I look at this roster, I see a football team that has made major improvements. I see a team with more talent. I see a team with more expectations. I see a team that should be significantly better than it was a year ago. But I also see one remaining question mark: pass rush. And until that gets solved, Bears fans are going to keep talking about names like Max Crosby, Joey Bosa, Alex Highsmith, A.J. Epenesa, and every other edge rusher connected to Chicago. At the end of the day, today's 2 stories tell us something very important. The dream of landing Max Crosby appears further away than ever after his public commitment to the Las Vegas Raiders. At the same time, the Bears continue searching for solutions, with Alex Highsmith emerging as one of the most intriguing trade possibilities, while Joey Bosa remains available in free agency. The good news is that the Bears aren't standing still. The front office clearly understands this defense still needs another difference maker on the edge. Now the question is whether that answer comes through free agency, a trade, or from the young players already inside the building. And that's what makes the next few weeks so fascinating. Because one move could completely change the outlook of this defense heading into the season. As Bears fans, we're excited about where this team is heading. But we're also demanding more. That's the standard in Chicago. We want a team capable of competing with anybody. And adding another impact pass rusher could be the move that gets us one step closer to that goal. Now I want to hear from you. Would you rather see the Bears pursue Alex Highsmith in a trade, take a chance on Joey Bosa, or trust Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shemar Turner to step up this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, Don't forget to hit that like button, because it really helps the channel grow. And if you're a true Bears fan who believes this team is building something special, make sure you subscribe to Bears News Daily. We're still a brand new channel working toward our first 100 subscribers, and I'd love to have you with us from the very beginning. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.